And yes, and three and two and one. Hello, and welcome to this April 1, beginning of April, Zoom on wealth, right? This meetup on wealth. What is wealth to you? A lot of people sometimes believe wealth is just about money. However, money is something tangible,
to this
right?
April
That we
1,
could also
beginning of April,
very easily
Zoom on wealth,
very
right?
easily
This meetup on.
Yeah, very easily see as we touch it, as we get it in our lives, as we lose it. Money is quite easy to recognize as wealth. But there's so much more that is beyond physical, that is beyond tangible, that is beyond definable, that is beyond controllable, and limited. That is what wealth is about, right? A lot of times when we are looking at our lives, we notice more some of the things that we feel we don't have. We feel we don't do well. We feel sometimes in our bodies something that is not comfortable, you know, and we're not always acknowledging what brings us joy, what is something that's quite special and elegant and different about us, that if we're willing to look at it, if we're willing to perceive it and feel it in our body, it actually warms us up inside. It is very contributive to our mental health, to our physical health, to our emotional health. And it also is something that from the inside, we allow to shine out, you know, as we walk, as we talk, as we're in silence. There are some things in our life that are just joyful, that are easy for us, that we don't even consider that it is a gift, that it is our wealth. Because since it's easy for us, since it is part of our lives, since it's part of who we are, or as we say in Access Consciousness, part of who we be infinitely, right? Then we don't think that it's something that is unique and magical about us. When we're willing to just ask ourselves a few questions, what is it that we enjoy? What is it that is so easy for us that without even thinking, without trying, it comes to us as if by magic? And that is our wealth. I often see people a lot because I love engaging with people. And I see and perceive the wealth that they are. Sometimes they could be queens with or kings with crowns, and sometimes they might be selling something on the street. And I often, when I look at them, right, something warms me up inside. And I say to myself, I wonder if they remember in some lifetime when they've been a king or a queen. They may not have what they consider, the elements of wealth. They may not have ease in a relationship. They may not have a good job or a healthy business. They may not have money, but they are the elements of wealth. With every pore in their being, every molecule and cell in their body, And this is a month about wealth and inviting people to explore what is it that's different about you, you know? And what is this about? When you're acknowledging the wealth that you are, that you have without trying, you know, then you're actually inviting more possibilities into your life. You're easily able to identify things that are in resonance, vibrational synchronicity, in resonance with your vibration. And how, when you are engaging with that, it means not just taking it in or not just giving it away. When you are engaging with it, which is a flow, right? You're the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you smile, the way you breathe, it actually allows you to enjoy being here, present on this place that we call home, which is planet Earth. And when you're enjoying your life here, when you're enjoying the small things, you know, appreciate the small things that show up, a bird flying by you and chirping, maybe when you're looking down, and a bird flying up, having you look up. How many people, how many animals, how many angels and invisible beings are connected with you and here to support you as you are going through this journey called life. You know, it may not show up the way you think it's going to. You know, Dr. Dane here from Access Consciousness always says that it may not show up the way you think it's going to. However, when you are feeling uncomfortable, when you are maybe having a really quote unquote bad day, take a moment. Take a moment. Just take one moment and breathe in. Breathe in the wealth, the riches of your life. You have the capacity to breathe. You're awake. You're alive. That is a wealth. That is a wealth. A lot of times people are having physical illness. It may be even fatal. But how much are we waiting for something disturbing to show up in our lives before we're willing to step up and recognize the gifts that we have, the talents that we have, begin exploring them? You know, if you were to set a goal, a target, an objective, a result, however you'd like to call it, that you'd like to have in this lifetime, something that is not necessarily tangible, but how would you like to feel? How would you like to enjoy life? What are the elements that you would like to have present in your life? And of course, it might be, it's fine. There's no wrong answer, okay? There's no wrong way of looking at it. It might be a nice Rolls Royce car, you know? It might be a house by the beach. It might be, you know, being able to fly, you know, either with your arms or in a plane or in a jet. Whatever that is, just have a moment and write it down. Because once you have written it down, you can go back and look at it and really ask yourself, what is it about this Rolls Royce or this beach, walking on the beach, that I would like to have? Why is that one of my choices? You know, and the moment you ask yourself that, what begins illuminating in you is that vibration, that space, that energy that you like to have in your life, that brings you joy, that brings you ease, that allows you to smile, even inside of you. And the more you have a goal, a target, this is what I'd like to have more of in my life. These are the kind of people I'd like to have more present in my life, or the kind of beauty I'd like to observe. You know, you might like the beauty of the sun and trees. You might like artwork. You might like seeing dancing. What are the things? What is the thing that you like that actually is identifiable and beyond the explanation of it or the definition of it is the essence of the wealth that you already are? Isn't it funny? There's some things that say we have everything waiting for us to just choose it. It already exists. Isn't that funny? If everything that we would like to have as part of our life already exists and is already just waiting for us to open that door, wouldn't it be nice to recognize what it is that you truly like to have in your life? Because probably you already have it. And that's what wealth is about. Recognize what you already have and choosing to concentrate on that. Because the more you are acknowledging your brilliance, as the founder of Access Consciousness said to me, acknowledge your brilliance. The more you're acknowledging your brilliance, you begin stepping up in life in a very different way, you know? And it may not be something that others acknowledge as the way you should be doing it. You should be working. You know, I remember years ago when I was in a career in hospitality and communication and international, and I knew that what I desired in my life, what was waiting for me, what was already there and waiting for me, was something different. Approaching that engagement with people in a different way. I didn't know exactly how, but I knew I had set my target, whatever it is, whatever the way is, that I can enjoy this even more beyond my wildest imagination, beyond my expectations of how much I should make money, how many people should be there, where I should be doing it, with whom, right? I'm willing to dedicate that time for me. It could be 10 seconds, it could be 10 minutes, it could be 10 days, 10 months, 10 years. But are you willing to dedicate some time to you? You know, we're so often willing to give lots of time to other people, lots of time to structure business and all that. And if you're willing to acknowledge your wealth, the wealth that is part of your life, that you were born with, that you may have developed in the last years, if you're willing to acknowledge that, everything, everything gets easier. Isn't that funny? Right? There's an expression that says that, you know, the universe, God, Allah, Buddha, Shiva, the angels have hidden our wealth in a place that we probably would never look. Do you know where that place is? Inside of you. Inside of you. It's so easy for other people to acknowledge and recognize, right? What's unique and magical about us? What's our wealth? You know, what's our beauty? And we can acknowledge others. You know, how many people do you know that say, oh, they are just full of riches and wealth and talent and ability, and they're so fabulous? How many people do you acknowledge that in? Would you be willing to be one of them? Because when you're willing to have your wealth shine inside of you, warm your heart, warm your organs in your body, warm your skin, and shine out, not only do you vibrate in a different way, but nothing can stop you. Nothing can depress you. Even if it's a situation that shows up, it's part of life's journey. What would you like to have more of in your life that probably is already there, waiting for you to discover it? So, wealth for this month of April is inviting you to recognize what your talents and abilities are, what your capacities are, what is so easy for you and so natural for you that it doesn't have to be your work or your job, right? It can simply be something that you add to every moment of your day, every day of your life. And when we're willing to do that, everything gets easier. Everything gets easier. Some of the things that started showing up for me when I was really willing to take a leap. Some people call it a risk. But would you rather risk something that will create more? And if it doesn't, oh well, you're just where you were before. You're just exactly where you were before. You take a risk, you're exactly where you were before if it does not leap you forward. However, if it does, how much more would you enjoy living? And how many more possibilities would show up in your life? You know, I started traveling with my sister-in-law. I wasn't making money like I was in my career. However, I was exploring some of the riches of my life, speaking different languages, enjoying different cultures, visiting different countries, and helping people enjoy their talents. They were musicians. So, how could I make it easier for them so that they could play their music, jazz music, and they're being nominated. They've been nominated for a Grammy Award. Hopefully, in a couple of days, they'll receive it. This is the sixth or seventh time. But my gift to them was making their life easier. And the gift that I received was one, their acknowledgement of me, two, my recognition of my wealth, my ease in doing that, and three, beautiful music every evening live that I got to enjoy. And the rhythm that changed for me was, yes, a bit uncomfortable, you know, changing relationships, a relationship, changing houses, and eventually changing career and city and country. However, it continues to expand. You know, I am so grateful for the changes that come about thanks to me committing to my life, committing to my joy, committing to expanding my awareness of the wealth that I am and that I can be and share with others. It's a capacity that I have. One of my wealths is recognizing who people truly are. always. If you've ever met me, you know that I see it immediately, right? I may not see physical things that are in my path, in my way, but I see the wealth and feel it in my body and perceive it in my aura, in my being, in my essence, and invite people to see that in them. That's just a unique thing that I have. What's the unique thing you have? It's so easy for me. What's so easy for you? Is it washing dishes? Is it talking with kids? Is it running? Is it seeing the stars in the sky? You might say, oh, come on. Everybody sees the stars in the sky. No. What is it that you see in others that if you did not have it in you, you wouldn't be able to see it? I always say, if you see it, you must be it, right? So, what are some of the riches in your life that it is now time, especially in this moment on planet Earth? It's now time for you to ask yourself, what am I really good at? What am I so capable of that maybe I have not acknowledged yet? And then see what shows up. Now, when you ask a question, don't look down. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Life is, oh. Look up because it's trying to present itself to you. It may be walking on the ground. It might even be a snake, which are beautiful, the snakes, right? But look up and see who calls you, see who compliments you, and what would it take? Just an invitation to remember what people say to you that is in a recognition and an acknowledgement of who you are. How often are we remembering when someone says something to us that's not nice, or someone accuses us of something, or someone is judging us, right? That might just be the way they communicate. And that's something that I share with people in communication, seeing things from other people's perspectives. But for every judgment, right, what is the gift that that judgment can be to you? Maybe it's you talk too much, right? Maybe it's you don't talk enough. What seems like a judgment, you're too much of something or too little of something, is actually an acknowledgement of your wealth. If you don't talk enough, you have the capacity to listen to people. Not everyone does. And you're like, what? Not everyone has the capacity to listen to people? Not everyone does. You talk too much. Some people have nothing to say. What? People don't have anything to say? So the invitation of the wealth is to connect with you. Step into your wealth. Step into your life. Be present with you. Be present with what shows up that ignites you, delights you, invites you to something peaceful, something fun, something that makes you laugh and smile and feel warm inside. Step in so that you're actually aware of that, you know? And don't forget to breathe. It keeps you alive. And then start stepping up and recognizing, wow, there are lots of things that I actually am able to do, am able to be, enjoy being. Step up and acknowledge you. Because once you do that, it's quite easy to acknowledge others. In my 7 steps program, my 7 steps to flawless communication book, the first step is show me the magic. It's so easy to see other people's magic, right? When you're willing to see yours and when you're willing to acknowledge yours, there's something that shines in you that then is an inspiration for others. It gets people present and they start recognizing you. And your invitation is for them to recognize them. So, is it about other people? It's first about you. And then it all starts with you so that you can be the invitation to be surrounded by, to be engulfed with the joy of others as well. That's your wealth, right? And money starts flowing to you in a way that's beyond anything you've ever imagined. Love and joy and admiration and adoration and all those things start moving around. Those are the wealths, those are the riches, the jewels, the gems in your life. And you start stepping up and recognizing your wealth, and then you're recognizing other people's wealth. And when you are ready, you start stepping out in the world in a completely different way, right? Willing to be seen. Willing to be heard. But not only you being seen and heard, but you get to see and hear other people in a completely different way. And how much more does that make possible for you to enjoy not only the wealth in your life, the wealth that you are, but the wealth that is part of this planet, that is part of this world. Even though it may seem complicated at times, what if you were willing for each and everything, just for today, that shows up in your mind, in your body, in your spirit, in your emotions, to ask, what is the wealth here that I have, that this is demonstrating to me? What is it that this is contributing to my acknowledgement of me, right? Some things work for you, some things don't work for you. But if your target, your goal, the results that you would like are to find things that work for you, that bring you joy, that make your life so much more than you have been choosing, then things will show up for you as if by magic. Yeah. And time, which is quite linear, this moment, the next moment, the next moment, time will be beyond linear in your life because we're here to enjoy our time. We're here to enjoy our lives and the wealth and the prosperity that you are is waiting for you. Is it time to acknowledge it? Yeah. And whatever goals or targets or results you'd like to have in life, this is a very lovely beginning. Your health, your wealth, your riches, and your beauty will be there for you. And you know what? It seems like it's all about you, but guess what? The more you're willing to be that wealth, it's a contribution to the world. For every blade of grass you walk on, you're a gift. Because so many people are feeling heavy and walking on the earth with pounding feet. What if you were to dance in a smooth pace with the wealth and the riches of your life? That's my invitation. And this will be a month of exploration with that, with various things. You can always find them on online, cassthomas.com. And let's see what invitation you are to the wealth, to the riches, and to the joy of living. Thank you so much for joining. And I hope to see you somewhere live, online, or get your wealth, the energy and vibration of it by looking at the stars. Have an awesome, awesome day.